Hello, everybody, and welcome to another vlog with yours truly, SlowWolf. uh, I'm really tired. From my calculations and from what I understand of how clocks work, I have been up since 10 o'clock the day before yesterday. Officially, it's 8 o'clock, and by 8 o'clock, it's 8 minutes into 0 o'clock in the morning right now. So, it's been about 30 10 it's been a lot of hours so far. I'm extremely tired, but I wanted to go ahead and put together a little vlog for you guys while I was super tired, just kind of going over some interesting stuff that happened to me. So yesterday, time seems to have taken a bit of a hazy hue. I have no idea what day it is. What year is it? Anyway, I was trying to go to bed early the night that all this started, and I thought to myself, I really like Sherlock, and I haven't seen season 3 yet. So I watched the first episode, thinking, oh, I just watched the first one. And then, lo and behold, by around 6 o'clock in the morning, I had finished watching and rewatching a couple of bits and pieces. Because there are a couple of parts that bugged me. And I was like, not so sure how I feel about that. I gotta rewatch something, make sure it all makes sense. Continuity. But yeah, Sherlock Season 3 was pretty good. I liked it. I didn't like it as much as Season 1 because I got a lot of the references from the books in Season 1. And I really enjoyed that. That was really cool how they went back to the books to get a lot of their material. It made me feel smart. Like most references do. The second season, I also felt was better written. And in both cases, I think that the overall thematic sense of being in the first two seasons was a lot stronger than it was in the third season. The third season was a season of flux, I find. Lots of just stuff going on. Different stories. Every episode, the first, the second, and the third episode, they were just different episodes. Like, they weren't really thematically tied with one or two small things. And I felt that overall there's a couple of parts that they could have capitalized better on. For instance, the bad guy in the third episode. Spoiler alert. Just letting you know now. The bad guy in the third episode gets killed. And I think that they could have made him a lot more interesting and used him in other ones. In other episodes. I think he would have been a cool recurring character. But, no dice. So I finished watching that, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I had to wake up for 8 o'clock anyway, because my uncle was coming by to drop off some stuff. Specifically, I had a present from my grandma and a present from my aunts, and there's a picture of me and my brothers and my dad. So I now have this sitting on my desk, and it's wonderful. You can see me in my tux thing. That's my vest. And then there's my big brother there. That's Sebastian. That's my dad in the blue, which is awful. And then that's my little brother. But we had a great time. That was at Thanksgiving this year. And I got that as a Christmas present. And I left it at my cousin's place. So I was happy to get it back. But I had to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning to get it. So it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go to sleep. Screw this. I'll just stay awake. So I did some Dota 2 strat reading. And that was fun and interesting. And I looked at all the quotes. And yeah, I read up on Dota 2. It was strange. And then at 8 o'clock, I rolled out of bed, sort of. Decided it was a bad idea, went back into bed, rolled out properly at around 8:40, and then got to meet my uncle at around 9:05-ish. Picked up the stuff and went home. And instead of passing out like I should have been able to, I stayed up even more. I had food. I got myself ready for my classes. And then there's a bit of a haze, but I didn't fall asleep. I wasn't even able to have a nap. I don't remember why. I just remember that I wasn't able to have a nap. And so 1 o'clock rolls around, and that's my class. So I went to my class, and it was Baroque music, and I was having a hard time staying awake. We started doing opera, which I quite like opera, actually. It's an interesting art form. And I like listening to this stuff too. It's interesting music, specifically the aria parts. The arias are beautiful. And I don't remember any of it. I have notes down somewhere, but I don't remember any of it, and I'm sure that the notes are atrocious. So that went well. And after that, I went into the student lounge, and that was a good time. I hung around and I talked to people who didn't know who I was until a good hour and a half later, when I finally said who I was, and they're like, "I have no idea who you are, but nice to make your acquaintance." I'm like, "I feel old. I need to get out of here." It's a good thing I'm graduating this semester. Holy crap! And then I had wind ensemble. So at this point, it's about 4:30. I still haven't slept yet. And I go into wind ensemble. Wind ensemble has a lot of loud people and a lot of loud instruments in it. So I had a pretty big splitting headache throughout the entire thing. But it was also a good time right up until we started doing some of the other pieces. Like the first half of wind ensemble was great. We did all this chorale stuff. We did nice, good sounding stuff, and it's like, yeah, awesome, fantastic. But if you ever get the chance to look up Eric Whittaker's Ghost Train, because that piece of music killed me today. I was so angry and frustrated at it that I didn't even want to play music anymore. I was just like, fuck this. It was such a pain in the ass. You've got all this stuff where you have odd rhythms. You've got the part that we were working on today was a alternating 3/4 to 7/8 bar. So you have like 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 and it's just like, oh my god. And then on top of that, like weird kind of off kilter rhythm, you had this like crazy like jazzy kind of feel to it. So as a result, it was like, oh my god, it sounds weird, it plays weird, and the rhythms are weird, and I was having none of it in my state today, and I was getting so mad. And you know those times when you're losing a game of Awesomenauts and you just refuse to get mad visibly because you're better than that? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person that's like that, but that happens to me occasionally. And just this time I was like, I tried so hard to not be mad, and it was so not easy. But I succeeded. That's what matters. So after Wind Ensemble, it ended up being about 6:20. So I'd been up for the full 34 hours at this point. I've been up for 34 hours straight. I then went to my next class, which was a 3-hour evening lecture. Excuse me. And it was web design. Introduction to the internet. It's not a bird course, but it's an easier course. It's one of my electives. And we have this great prof. He's this crotchety old man. Like, everybody here should love him. He'd be fun. He's a good time. And we started talking about, like, you know, the history of analog forms of communication, the telegraph, and all that stuff. And I was having a hard time staying awake. Like, I had, we were talking about the telegraph and stuff, and here I am, just drooping off. I'm, like, slapping myself awake and everything. It was atrocious. It was really funny. And at one point, the professor just looked at me, after I had done it one too many times, just looked at me, and with this old crotchety glare, he was just like, "Go to sleep." It was super funny. And then throughout the rest of the presentation, throughout the rest of the lecture, he's just like, "What are you doing? Go to bed. Go to sleep." And I very nearly did. When we finally got to the programming stuff about an hour and a half in, I was able to stay awake. Because so long as I have something to keep my brain occupied, like a game or programming or something like that, I can stay awake at that point. So I was able to stay awake for the rest of the lecture, pretty much no problem. And that was good. And then I left that. And I left there at around 9:15. So I had been up now for another 3 hours. So I said 34 before, so it's 37 hours. And then I got home. And then I saw friends online, so I had to play with them because it's been like a long time since I'd seen them. So I hung out with them and I played some Dota 2, and we had some really successful matches. And we had some other matches which weren't super successful, and then we managed to turn them around somehow, so that was pretty cool. And that lasted from about 10 till now. So that's another 2 hours. And I think total that's 37, 38. That's 40 hours of staying awake. So with that was my day. The day that SlowWolf didn't sleep. And I finally will. I will be dead to the world in less than 30 minutes, I guarantee you. But, yeah, before that happens, I'd like to say goodbye. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I know I sure did. I don't know if me telling you guys about my day is even remotely interesting. But today was a weird-ass day, and I swear I was hallucinating and stuff at some point. Like, I know you're not supposed to hallucinate till about 72 hours or so, but I swore I heard things. It was weird. So, yeah. See you, everybody. Good night. Have a good one. I know I'm going to. And, yeah, you guys take it easy.